and then you'll have maybe a post-lab packet. I know for me as a business major, I had to take a science class for my general ed. And because that one was more general ed science, we didn't do any sorts of experiments of the sort, but we had to do lab packets.
Okay. Hi, welcome to our Introduction to College Academics webinar. Today, we're going to be covering the basics of course registration, the course selection process, and just overall what it means to be a student in a university atmosphere. So we're going to go ahead and introduce our panelists for today.
Okay, well, I'll go first. Hello, my name is Uche Magalu. I am a business administration student at the University of Southern California, and I'm a rising sophomore, and I am from the Bay Area. Nice to meet you all.
I'll go next. So hi, my name is Ariba, and I'm a student at McGill University.
Hello, my name is Catherine. I'm a student at Spelman College.
Okay, hi, my name is Christian Howes. I'm a rising sophomore at NYU studying business journalism and then entertainment business.
Okay, well, I guess I'll go ahead and talk about this slide. So first off, we have types of college courses. As it says, each university offers so many different unique classes that you can take in so many different majors and different opportunities. And here's just a few traditional classes. So once you go into college, there are usually some things called first year seminars, which are just classes only for freshmen to help with your transition into college. And they're usually smaller size classes. And once again, only for freshmen. And then there's general ed classes, core classes that you take that are well-rounded classes to help you learn about many different subjects and to see if you're interested in other majors. And then of course you have your major specific classes for the major that you declared. Then there's elective classes, which are like more fun classes and are worth less units. And then there's lecture style classes, discussion classes, and lab classes that will also be touched upon further. So I'll now pass it on to Christian to talk about the difference between general ed and major specific classes.
Okay, so yeah, when it comes to general education and major specific, sometimes they can seem to cross over a little bit, especially when you're talking about within your specific school and not the university as a whole. So for general education, that's kind of think about like high school, where you have the basic math courses, the science courses, the humanity courses, and like a language arts. So those are some of the general education courses that typically students are required to take before graduating. You have to do a certain number of those. I know within my business school, you have to take up to calculus 1, and then you're done with your math requirement. But as it pertains to major specific, that can kind of go along with your concentration or major. But that's like, let's say you're a business student and you want to concentrate in finance, you would have to take like an introduction to finance course, and that would kind of count as your major specific. And for like a medical major, I don't know too much about medical courses, but think like a intro to biology of plants or something like that, something really specific. So it's just really kind of things that are helping you build your specific field of study, and your academic advisor can kind of help you understand which courses are necessary for your major and what can kind of help you be on the best path to your professional career.
All right, thank you. And now I'll be talking about class structure. There are three different types of classes that your class might be structured in. So what most people know is called a lecture class. Lecture style classes are usually very large classes with maybe like at least 50 people, and then it can go up to like 100 plus people. I know I've had a class with about 200 people in it, and that's a lecture style class in a big lecture hall. And usually there's a teacher, and that teacher is just lecturing to the students, and you're mainly just focusing on taking notes. So there's not really a lot of like class interaction and like back and forth with your teacher asking too many questions. That's usually saved for the discussion. So each lecture, because it's only mainly focused on taking notes and jotting down ideas, they have a discussion class attached to them. So they usually come in pairs. And in the discussion class, that's where you usually get into like smaller groups of students, maybe like 20 students. And these classes are led by a TA. So each lecture class will maybe have one TA or multiple TAs who lead different discussion sections. And in those discussion sections, the TA is basically like your second teacher. And with most of these lecture and discussion classes, it's really vital that you form a good connection with your TA, because they're the ones who mainly do most of the grading, like they grade your papers and they grade your tests. So in essence, your TA is almost like the real teacher in a sense. So it's good for you to be on good terms with your TA. And then there's also labs for, STEM students and anyone who's taking like science classes or anything like that. And these labs are usually also added on to a science class. So they're in addition to a lecture class that you already have. And usually in your lab, you'll be doing some sort of experiment or some sort of computer program. And then during your lab, you'll also have a sheet of information that you'll have to fill out. And that's usually called like your pre-lab. So you might have to do a packet before your lab, and then you'll have your actual lab packet, and then you'll have maybe a post-lab packet. I know for me as a business major, I had to take a science class for my general ed. And because that one was more general ed science, we didn't do any sorts of experiments of the sort, but we had to do lab packets. So yeah, that was mainly what I did during my lab. But I know for STEM students, you'll be conducting like actual experiments and then actually writing more information down on your lab packets. So yes.
Hello, my name is Catherine, and I'm going to be talking about course selection, and I'm going to be kind of giving a demo on how you might register for courses. So course selection typically occurs the semester before. So for example, when I registered for my fall 2024 classes, I did that in the spring of 2024. And in terms of course selection, usually schools have their own processes for how to pick which order schools register in. Typically, seniors go first, then juniors, then sophomores, then freshmen. And this typically goes by your credit hours as opposed to your actual class standing. So for example, I came in with enough credits to be a sophomore, so I was able to register with the sophomores. But I'm also in my school's honors program, and that allowed me to register before everyone else. So it's definitely good for you to speak to people at your school that you want to go to and to learn more about what their specific registration policies are. And most universities, they have a maximum number of credits that you can take before being charged extra. Typically, this is between 16 and 20. I know my school personally, that number is 18, and you can take up to 20 without being charged extra if you get approval. And typically to be counted as a full-time student, which means that you might get certain financial aid or certain housing privileges. Typically, you have to take a minimum of 12 credits. So now I'm going to display how to register for classes. Okay, I can't share my screen right now.
Okay, let me give you access.
Thank you. Okay. It's not showing me a preview, so I'm not 100% sure which screen I'm showing right now. So when I share this, can you guys, give me 1 second, I'm sorry. Okay, can y'all see my screen right now?
Yes.
Okay, great. So my school uses Banner to register for classes. And the way that we do it is we go to registration information, we go to register for classes, and we pick the specific term that we're registering for. And once we get there, we can type in the subject and we can type in the course number. So at Spelman, most of our classes, they start with S. So if I wanted to study, for example, I'm in Glee, so I need to register for that. So I can type in the course code, which is music, and I can type in the course number, which is the course number. And then I can typically pick which class I'm going to register for. So I'm going to kind of talk about my schedule and how I kind of picked that. So I'm a biochemistry major and I'm pre-med and I'm a music minor. So I took calculus and chemistry because they're both required for my major. I'm taking keyboard skills, music seminar, and private voice because they're required for my minor. I'm taking Spanish as a core class because I have to have my language credits completed. And acting for non-majors is just an elective class that I'm taking for fun. And then finally, here it says that I have a time conflict, and that's because this class overlaps with the rest of my classes. But what some teachers might let you do is they might let you get an override. So for this class, I already know that the professor is going to let me skip these few days or come in late or whatever I have to do. So once it gets a bit closer to the fall or whenever my teacher lets me know, I'll just send him an email and be like, hey, can you please give me an override for this course? This is my name, this is my student ID, this is the section I want to be added to. So yeah, that's just kind of like the basics of how you register.
Hi, so I'll be talking about virtual tools and kind of like note taking in general. So I know each course is different. For a STEM course, these tools will be different compared to courses like math or physics, which are more hands-on. But I do want to go over these tools because I feel they're traditional methods of staying organized and staying on top of track. So I'm just going to share my screen to give you an example of my favorite tools that I personally like to use to stay organized. And also it really helps me study as well. So yeah, I'm just going to need access. So this is Quizlet. Quizlet and Anki kind of works in the same way. It's just a difference of format. I personally am a fan of Quizlet more. So these are just a set of flashcards that I basically made. And one thing that I really like to do with flashcards is when the semester goes on, each week I'd be making these flashcards. And when it comes to studying for midterms or finals, then it's kind of like a new way of studying for me because I obviously wouldn't remember the answers. So this is just an example, like, what is the main function of the cardiovascular system? Because I'm also a pre-med student. And then you're kind of training your mind to know the answers. And then you can see if these are the right answers or not. So you can make different sets for each course. And yeah, Quizlet, I think it's kind of like a method of active studying, and every student would recommend active studying. It's a way to stay on track, basically. And Anki kind of works in the same way. We have other ones like Sheg, as I mentioned. Sheg is also really nice to see like the answers sometimes when you're given worksheets or kind of assignments and you don't know how to kind of basically go approach the answer. Sheg would probably have a lot of good resources if you can just copy paste the question there. Another resources that I use to stay organized is Google Calendar. For this one, I went November 2023. This was like right before the midterm. And as you can see, like it was peak, studying method. Like everything was like, so like everything was getting overwhelming. So that's why I try to use Google Calendar so then I can know the due dates. Okay, I have a quiz on this specific day, then I have volunteering on this specific day, then I have this assignment due on this day. So it just keeps me organized that way. And yeah, I can basically like, I'm a visual person, so I like having things on one page so I can really see what I need to prioritize. Yeah, so I'll stop sharing and then talk about the rest. If you can just have the slideshow back. Right. So Shag, I talked about Quizlet, Google Calendar, Anki, like some people like using it. It's a very great tool for pre-med students, but it's the same concept of flashcards. And then we have Coursera. We also have Khan Academy, which are amazing tools if you actually want to learn lecture more in depth. Like let's say if you have a professor that doesn't really go in depth about topics, those are also great resources.
Okay. So I want to touch a little bit about the TheMedicaZone's newest resource, the Master Resource Drive. If you could click on the link, so we could go see it.
One second. Do you want to share on your screen?
Oh, yeah, okay. Okay, can you guys see? Oh, can you guys see the screen?
No,
No?
no,
What the? Okay, 1 second. Okay, what about now?
no.
Still no?
Is it just saying Jaden has started screen sharing again?
What? Okay, what about that?
It didn't change.
Okay, this is so crazy. Like, okay, can you see that?
Yes.
Okay, so this is the TheMedicaZone site. So, for basically essentially for our members, well, if for anyone who makes an account on the website, they can get access to our master resource drive, which is a drive which you can upload files, like you can upload your own notes. You can see notes from other people. You can see all of the MedicaZone's quizzes, and it's just like a really good opportunity for students to like, and it's like right there on the site. So it's like embedded into the site. And as you can see, you can access it directly. So it's a really good resource, and it's open to anyone who becomes a member onto the account. So you just have to sign up with like your email or your Google account, and you'll have access to this master resource drive. Yeah, pretty much it. And so we have two upcoming events. So number one is on Tuesday at 5:30 p.m. PST. We're gonna have a live surgery shadowing with a cosmetic surgeon, Dr. Gupta. So that'll be Tuesday at 5:30. And then next week, we're gonna be having presentation skills and etiquette on July 5th. And you can register for both of these events with the following links. I'm just gonna put them into the chat. Okay, so for the shadowing one, the link is this. Okay. And then for the presentation skills and etiquette, that one is this one. Okay. And so, yeah, if you're interested in any of those events, make sure to register. And yeah, that's all I have to say. So I see that for the breakout activity, Asia, would you be interested in working with the students to create a mock-up of potential classes you would take for your freshman year of college? Do you want to work with anyone in particular? Like we can create a breakout room, or like would you mind like all of them being able to give input?
I guess I would need a little bit of help with it because I kind of came to the meeting a little bit late. Um,
Yeah, no problem. So, how about you kind of start with some information, like what grade you're currently in and what are you hoping to major in university and what university you're hoping to attend?
I guess I'm planning on. I'm in. I'm a rising 12th grader, so I guess I'm going to. I'm not sure what I would want to major in, either nursing or like biology or something like that.
Okay, does anyone want to like step in and give some suggestions for like classes that she might need to take or
Could you repeat the major?
I was interested in majoring in nursing or maybe biology.
Okay, cool.
Um,
Um, I mean, for me, even though I'm an occupational therapy major, I know I had to take classes like physiology and biology, where I had a lot of students who were majoring in biology as well. So I feel those might be the classes you'll need to take, like physiology, probably organic chemistry. That might be something. Yeah, those two courses are basically something that I think you'll need to take.
I do need to leave right after this, but I know your first year, it really depends on what credits you come in with or if you come in with college credits. But for your first year, you're probably going to want to take core classes. So it's probably going to be like a basic English class, a math class, a science class, and a history class. But depending on your major, you might be kind of exempt from certain things. Like for example, because I came in as a STEM major, instead of just taking like the basic math class, I got the option of doing like a different class, or like it's kind of similar with science. I just started taking my science courses for medical school. So I just started trying to take like general chemistry and biology and things such as that. And then in terms of like the number of classes you take, it kind of depends on you and your school. I definitely took a lot of classes my first year, but that's just kind of like the culture around my school. I would say if you can get away with taking just like 4 or 5 classes your first semester, I would definitely do that to like kind of get acclimated to college.
Okay, thank you. That was really helpful.
And I would add your school probably, well, the school that you want to go to, they will probably like release like a first year plan or like a first semester plan, especially like in your universities like nursing school. So they should outline the kind of courses that you should take for you. In theory, a lot of schools do that. So if they do, if your school does do that, you should definitely look into that and try to structure your schedule kind of around that.
Okay, I'll look into that. Thank you.
Okay, sounds good. Well, yeah, that concludes our Introduction to College Academics webinar. If you have any questions or concerns after that you would still like to address, please reach out to academic@themedicazone.com, and we will be happy to give you any resources or et cetera that you might need. But just email us anytime, Monday through Saturday. But yeah, thank you for joining. Okay, sounds good. Yeah, so thank you guys for coming. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
real cash.
All right, see ya.
See ya.
Have a good day.
Bye.